Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. I got a kick to review some Robin Williams movies because, well, there's a bunch of them on Tubi and some other streaming services, and I figured I want to kind of watch and review some of the ones I haven't seen or haven't seen in a long time. So let's do one that I've already done, but I figured I should start this off with one I've already done, and I'll do one that I haven't done yet, but I've seen before. We'll do that next. So we're starting with Jumanji. Yes, Jumanji, and it fits because another new Jumanji film, the fourth film. Why does everybody? People are like, people say the fourth Jumanji 4 is coming up. People are like, there was a Jumanji 3. Yeah, the next level was the third one. You see, there was a movie in the 90s called Jumanji with Robin Williams. But well, technically, it's the fifth one because the third. No. I think I said this in my review of Zathura. Zathura is not a Jumanji movie. It's based on a book written by the same guy who did the Jumanji book. But it's not in the same. No, it's not in the same universe. I don't know why people try to connect it to it. It has similar themes and everything, but no. Now we're talking about Jumanji from 1995, which means this movie is 30 years old. Excuse me, 30 years old. I won't be 31 until December of this year, so not yet. Came out in December. And it has a Christmas scene in the end of this movie, but that does not a Christmas movie make it. Tony from Hack the Movies, who decided to... I mean, I get it, he reviewed it in December for the anniversary or whatever, back in last year, 2025, yeah. But then, he had the Christmas stuff up, and he's like, it's a Christmas movie because of the end. No, I'm sorry. For all those who debate that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, Jumanji and Little Fockers are not Christmas movies just because they have a Christmas scene in the end. That's even less stuff than what people claim Die Hard has. Die Hard has Christmas stuff throughout the entire film. Yes, Jumanji coming out in 1995, directed by Joe Johnston, who also directed The Rocketeer and Captain America: The First Avenger. So, good talent. But the other two movies are good, okay? Even though Captain America: The First Avenger is my least favorite of the Captain America movies, it's still a good movie. It has nothing to do with the quality of it, it's just... period pieces aren't my thing. But no, Robin Williams stars as Alan Parrish, who as a kid was trapped inside the game of Jumanji after he found it and played it with his friend Sarah Whittle. That's how he says it. Sarah Whittle. Like I said, Sarah Whittle. Like how he says it, because there's an H in it, so he's... Everyone else says Whittle, but yeah. He now finds himself in 1995 after being trapped in the game for 26 years. And stuck playing the game, illegally I might add, with two children who now live in his house. This spawned a cartoon series in the 90s and new films starring Rock Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart and Jack Black. The third of those is coming out this year. Fourth overall. Fourth? Shut up! It's not the fifth. So third doesn't count, goddammit. Just because they're similar. Would you count Goosebumps? Yes. What? Chuck Black, isn't it? He plays all this stuff. Never mind. Anyway, so we start sometime. Do they give us an actual date as to where the beginning of this? These two kids were trying to bury it. This kid overreacts. Oh, it's got me. You tripped. And they bury it. Well, what if someone finds it? Then God have mercy on their soul. Cut to 1969. In the swinging 60s, we see Alan Parrish on his bike, played by the kid from Halloween H2O who dies off screen. He does. He's the one they find in the dumbwaiter, right? Is it implied that Michael shoved him in the garbage disposal or something? Set him with the corkscrews? I don't remember. I don't know. But they find him in the dumbwaiter and he's dead. That's him, right? Because the other chick, that Jordan O'Keefe chick, she's... I don't know. But... No. So he's on his way home when he gets picked by some bullies, the lead of which is named as Billy Jessup. It's a stupid ass name. I'm sorry, Jessup. The whole thing that he goes on about later is that people make fun of him because his name is Parrish. Name's Parrish. But also because his family is like big in the town, and that's why he's picked on. I'm sorry. Whoever wrote this is backwards. I'm sorry. But who would get made of for being in one of the most wealthiest, well-known families in town? Those kids are going to kiss your ass because you have all the money. Why are they picking on him? I never got that before, that the reason they're picking on him is because of his name. It's because, not because it's Paris, but that because if Paris is a big name in the town and they're wealthy. But no, that's not how someone gets bullied. That's how someone gets their ass kissed. They should be all best friends with him. And then also, Billy is mad at him, also, for the reason I knew all this time, is because of Sarah. The aforementioned Sarah Huetel. I say it, Robin Williams. And you stay away from my girlfriend. But we find out later, when they go to get her, he's like, Sarah and I used to play around on this porch as kids. As children. And I'm like, so they knew each other before this. It's not just, they were friends before this. It's not just, like, he has a thing for her and they start talking. Like, they knew each other before she started dating this jerk-off, right? They're like, what, 12? 13, I think? I don't know. So he goes into the factory where he runs into... I'm so glad I get to do this now and you understand where it's from as long as you've seen the review. He runs into Carl, played by David Allen, David Allen, David Allen Greer, who has a new shoe that he wants to put on the line. It's a tennis shoe, basically, that he wants Wilt Chamberlain, 69, right, to wear. If he gets it to wear, this can be big. He's going to show it to Alan's father. But Alan, distractedly worrying about the police, happens to put the shoe on a conveyor belt, which clogs up the machine. But before we get to that, he actually has a talk with his dad, and his dad refuses to give him a ride home because he says he's got to stand up to his bullies like a man. His father, by the way, played by Jonathan Hyde from The Mummy. Hyde plays a dual role. We'll get to that when his other role appears, but yes. So, like an idiot, he goes to stand up to the bullies, plural. They're all there. They beat the crap out of him behind a tombstone and steal his bike. This is where Jumanji comes in. He hears the drums beating and finds the game in a place where mysteriously all the construction workers had just left for the day. Well, being a construction worker doing the construction on things, I have to go to the Good Burger to get me one good burger and a good shake and a milky shake for it to drink. All that reference. Anyway, so he finds the game and he takes it home. And many of them go, and then that night, as they get ready to go, his dad is like, I didn't know that there was more than one bully, but I'm proud of you. You slept like a man, and so we're going to send you to a boarding school. A place that has his name in one of the buildings. And again, he's like, well, I get made fun of enough here, then we're going to make fun of me there. I'm like, again, that's not how this works. He shows up to a place where his name's on a thing. Everyone's going to kiss his ass. They don't know how privilege works. If you have the money, you have the power. The power. So, yeah, I don't know why they think this could. I don't get it. No. So he goes. So after an argument with his papa, who tells him he's going to go to this boarding school, he's like, "Well, I'm just going to run away." So as he goes to leave, he hears it. He opens the door. I always like how he goes to open the door. Ding dong. He's like, and Sarah Whittle is there. And she apologizes for Billy and brought her bike back. She's like, I was going to get it back from Billy anyway. And I always thought, was he really, or was he just saying it'd be tough? And I thought, well, if he's running away, he's going to need his bike, so I think maybe he was going to. And actually, it would be smart, because Billy should be alone at this point. He's at home. I'm also wondering if Billy's parents are like, where'd you get the bike from? Right? We just took it home. No, and then she hears the drums. So they decide to play. By the way, when he goes to look at it earlier, okay, he opens it, and he accidentally drops 2 pieces, which go to each corner, which means you shouldn't be able to close the thing, because they're at the corners, and they stick out, but whatever, it's a movie. It's a movie. Someone didn't think of, I'll give it to Des Deacon, because he brought it up, and I didn't think about that. I'm like, yeah, he's right, it wouldn't shut. Alright, also, something he brought up is the tagline, Jumanji, a game for those who seek to find a way to leave the world behind. So, that in a way, Al was looking for an escape from his life. This was a way to provide it for him. So, for some reason, even though Sarah didn't put the piece down herself, it allows her to play. This makes no sense. But so she rolls, and bats show up, but not really. It rattles on the thing. Bats aren't out yet. So then he rolls, and you know what happens here. In the jungle, you must wait until the dice read 5 or 8. So he gets spaghetti stringed into the freaking game. And then the bats fly out, and she runs away. And I love this transition where the door shuts, and then you just see it age to look older, and then boom, lady opens the door, and you got Aunt Nora, Judy, and Peter. Great transition. Okay, one thing I thought of this time. What is the point of Judy lying about how her parents died? Is it supposed to be a way to cope? Because her lying does not come in handy any other way in the film. You think she's going to come up with a clever lie to deceive Van Pelt, or with a clever lie to dissuade the cops or something. No, it barely goes even past the first act of this movie. She lies here, and then laughs it off, and then she lies she tries to lie to Ellen later, but like, she doesn't really, after that, after Peter tells her that, that's it, it's done. So I don't get what the purpose of her doing that was. Yeah. And I do feel that this part of the movie does drag just a tad. Where it's like, we're getting acquainted to these new characters now. We started the game. Like, in the book, once the game starts rolling, you could go to the end. Boom, boom, boom. You got crocodiles. You got lions. Boom, boom, boom. Here it's like, oh, we're getting started. No, he's in the game. We gotta wait. And now it's okay. Like, already? No, oh, no. Okay, I gotta go back. Okay. Right. Like, we're halted. Even though we should be going now, we're not. We're back at the starting line again. Because, yeah. I do like Aunt Nora's line, though. She's like, hey, we'll have ice cream. And bourbon. And as a kid, I had to go, what's bourbon? It's alcohol. Well, I don't think the kids are going to have that then. But I think they do make ice cream with bourbon in it. Like a bourbon. Ice cream. Bourbon. And as someone who tastes like a bourbon sauce, I don't like the taste of the bourbon sauce that I've had on stuff. But I've had a bourbon chicken. Chicken was good. The sauce, not so much. For me, anyway. If you like it, that's fine. I never had bourbon, so I never really had hard liquor. I had a shot of vodka. I've had vodka. Not. I think I've done straight. The closest thing to like doing shots I've done are like, what is it? The blue and red stuff. You know what I'm talking about? It's supposed to taste like blue raspberry and there's a red one. Whatever it's called. It's been a while since I've had that. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I like that line. We got ice cream and bourbon. Judy gets in trouble for lying skew. We never see him go to school, by the way. And here, she also gets yelled at and grounded for lying about Alan Parrish being chopped into little bits and thrown in the buried in the walls or something. And she's like, "That's it. And I've had enough of your lying." And it's not even the last time that she lies, really. It's like, okay. By the way, it wasn't a lie. And I'm like, well, as far as you know, but it's later find out that this is bullshit. Like, of course he wasn't chopped up. I really like Alan's reaction to that later, by the way. But anyway, so they get ready to go to school. Like, oh, we can make it to school fine. So they hear the drums. They find the game. And somehow, they're able to just place 2 more pieces on the game board, and they're now able to play the game. That's not how board games work. In order to start a new game, you either finish the old one, or you just scrap it and say, okay, let's just start over. So, with all intents and purposes, since they entered, the game should start over. Which means the 2 pieces, Alan's and Sarah's pizzas, should no longer be in play. Because new people have started playing the game. If we're going by board game rules. I grew up playing a lot of board games. You either finish the game you're on, or scrap it and start over. You don't just say, oh, well, we only each took one turn, just start after us. No! So, I think some people might have. I guess it's your prerogative, Bobby Brown. But, Britney Spears, if you prefer that crap version. I think Bobby Brown is better. His song is better. Not the person. The song. Reiterate, the song. Bobby Brown's song. My prerogative is better. Not the person. Anyway, so Judy rolls, right? And they get mosquitoes, big hulking mosquitoes that fly around, and she swats it out the window. It's now Peter's turn, and he summons the monkeys, even though supposedly they're chimpanzees. Now, the effects in this movie, it's in 1995, they're not going to be the best, and the monkeys are a very good example of that. They just didn't know how to do fur. Well, Peter got double, so he gets to roll again, and he rolls a 5. So this releases the lion, which when it's an animatronic, it looks fine. But when you get the CG, not so much. But because it was a 5, it also releases Alan from the game, and he subdues the lion in Nora's bedroom, boudoir. And I do like this reaction. He's like, one of you roll a 5 or an 8? Me, he chases him down. He's like, thank you. And he's like running around. It's me, Mom, Dad, it's me. It's me, Alan. I'm back. He's like, are you my little brother and sister? So like it's 1995. It's been 26 years. Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, what happened to him? We live here now. We don't know. And so he goes to leave, and of course the first person he meets is Carl. But, David Allen. And Carl is a cop now. So let me ask you this. Getting fired from a shoe factory gives him the idea to go into law enforcement. I guess. I don't know. But, yeah. And I looking at him, I like how to make him look like... So in 1969, they put a ridiculous afro wig on him, right? So now to make him look older, because he was in his 30s, right? At this point, they put some gray in his hair, and it has like a gray on his mustache, so he looks older than he's supposed to be. And it's like, okay, he's a cop now, and he's like, what was this? And I guess Judy does like to the cop. Oh, maybe this is what it's for. She's like, oh, this is my our uncle. He was off in the Peace Corps, and he's like, monkeys. And Alan, really, you were stuck in the jungle for 26 years. Chimps are not monkeys; they're apes. There's a difference, apparently. I don't know. Yeah. So, and the monkeys shoot the shotgun off. And Alan runs off to the Paris shoe factory, which is now abandoned. They didn't repurpose that for anything. It's just an abandoned factory for homeless people, a homeless man, which has been theorized that this is Alan Parrish's father. Though there's no proof for it. Tells him, this guy's an asshole too. He's like, oh yeah, the Parrishes, they couldn't take it. He gave up the factory after his kid disappeared. You used to see the Parrishes? Oh, I still see them every once in a while. They're down on something street. And it's a cemetery. Which I was wondering why Alan didn't realize that was the cemetery. Maybe that cemetery wasn't there back in the day. Because at one point, when he's talking to Carl there, they're like, it's on this and this. He's like, oh, the Episcopal Church or something. Okay. He's like, no, it's not church no more. It's a Big Boy Burger. Church goes down in the 70s or something like that. Yeah. Big Boy Burger. Big Belly Burger. Anyway. So yeah, it's a cemetery. And this is the last lie we get where she's like, hey, our parents died too. They were in the Middle East negotiating peace. But let the men, you know. Then they stop back home where he's like, this is my house. And when your aunt gets, she's like, our aunt's going to come home. She's like, good. When he gets here, you guys can leave. This is my parents' house, which means I now own the house. I don't think that's how that works. You've been missing for years. You're going to have to prove you're Alan Parrish at some point. This is 95. So they have DNA testing. But then you're going to have to try to explain where you've been for the last 26 years. And when you say you were stuck in a jungle in a board game for 26 years, they're going to put you in a cuckoo hut. Yep. So, because the rules say that you have to play with the intent to finish, which neither of them ever did, but they have to finish the game, and all the effects will leave once the game is done. And I thought, for some reason, every time I watch this, I keep thinking the effects of each turn will disappear when the next person rolls. And I said, no, that's the Forever game. And the episode Are You Afraid of the Dark, which is the Tale of the Forever game. That's not the same here. No, all the stuff stays until you know the game. So it's time to go, and Judy rolls. Nothing. They have to convince Alan to play by using reverse psychology. It works. Judy rolls, nothing. She tries again, nothing. And then Alan realizes that they're playing the exact same game from 26 years ago, which again not how all board games work. You either scrap it, start over, or you just finish the game you're on. But, I don't know. Whatever. So they realize, so they go to give a dice. Him is like, it's not my turn. This is where we get that line. Then whose is it? Sarah Whittle. Who was played by Bonnie Hunt. And I like when they go to meet her. It's like, this portrait used to be smaller. Or used to be bigger. I guess I should, is what it, this portrait used to be bigger. Like, hello, we're looking, like she's a fort. I like how, like, maybe she can help us. How's she gonna help us? She's a fortune teller. Oh, you got a good point. Oh, you got a good point. It's like, yeah. It's like, oh, we're looking for the person who used to live in this house. You know, I've lived here my entire life. Does anybody know Sarah Whittle? No, nobody by that name lives here. And that's when he's like, Sarah Whittle? He's like, 26 years ago, did you play a game with a boy down the street? A game with drums. I'm that little boy, Sarah. It's me, Alan. And she faints. And then I like how this smash cuts to them. Like, she's on his back and they're walking into the house. Now she's on the phone with her psychologist. You know what happens? I'm just having one of those moments. One of them say, you know, those are things that they didn't happen. You know, they didn't. Her reaction, like earlier, the reaction from Alan where he sees the game. Ah! And then when they put the game down for her, she's like, oh, whoa, no. Like no. They would both be traumatized. He was stuck in the game for 26 years and she's had to deal with all this shit. Right? And we got the part where they do find one of the bats in the attic, and that's where they talk to the exterminator guy. I just want to point out that the effects of the game didn't go anywhere, so those bats have been there since 1969, and nobody has seen it. They haven't done anything in 26 years till they went up to the attic. I guess. So now it's time to play it. It's Sarah's turn. And you have to forgive me. I believe this is the Divines, right? This is Divines, right? Roll it. The vines come out and they say, watch out, they have poisonous barbs. Watch out for the bulbs, the big yellow ones. They're not... So, they're yellow and red on the inside, but they're not yellow on the outside like you think they would be. It's green. But yeah, and they try to pull in Judy. And I do like... When he goes above the thing, he grabs... Sorry, Angus. Grabs... It's harvest time! Trying to get trailer lines, right? Speaking of trailer lines, it's Alan's turn. Oh, I do want to point out how they try to get her to roll. She's like, I don't want to. Oh, it's okay. You can just put the dice down. Put the dice down, which she should already know is not going to work because Alan just tried to put the dice down and it counted as a roll. Now, just give him to me. Just give him to me. I love his little laugh. His turn. He rolls. And we get... Is it the Stampede yet? Or Van Pelt? Van Pelt, right? 100 from the darkest wild makes you feel just like a child. I'm losing it. I don't have Wikipedia to pull up. I think it's Van Pelt. This makes me think... He's had 2 rolls, and already it's just... So Van Pelt chases him. And I like how the question is like, why is he coming after you? I don't know. And here, Van Pelt is where we get the other role from Jonathan Hyde. It's like what they do with Hook, Captain Hook, and the plays and the movies was played by the same actor as the father, the Wendy Darling's father Father Darling, whatever his name is. Father Darling. So it's the... What happens here? My brain is... I'm having a brain fart. I watched this morning. He runs off, right? And they do eventually get him back. They have another... Yeah, because they go to leave. They run off, and Carl shows up because he believes that this is suspicious stuff that's connected to the... But, like, all we have is monkeys so far, right? Van Pelt runs out of ammo, so he runs off. I think I'm missing one. Oh, I know what to do. Mute it, right? Press play. Don't give me an ad, just continue playing the video. Okay. Fuck! I said mute, you fucker! Damn it. Okay. No, his review is long. Jesus. I mean, halfway through his review yet, and it's not even... Can you... Sarah Whittle, okay. Here. So the poisonous barbs. Then he rolls... Yeah, Carl's... Carl finds his car, because the monkeys took off with it, that's right. So yeah, it is just the monkeys that do it. I thought it was the... Van Pelt, okay. So Van Pelt chases him off. Carl shows up. They end up back at the house for some reason. Right? Do they double back? Hold on. See this? They run off. Okay, they sneak back through. Okay. And it's Peter's turn next. Right? Judy's turn. Judy's turn. Yeah, because they're arguing. And Judy's like, I'm going to roll now. She rolls. And that's when it's the stampede, right? Yeah, okay. So I'm on track. I was on track. So it's... And we get another trailer line. Run. It's a stampede. So they run off. Yeah, okay. We're on track. We're on track. Because nothing actually happens when Peter rolls, at least throughout the rules or whatever. So they run off, and a pelican gets a hold of the game. So they have to chase him, and they eventually chase him to a waterfall, where, thanks to some ingenuity, Peter's able to get the game. It's his turn now. But not before Carl shows up again to arrest Alan, who willfully gets arrested because Van Pelt is back shooting him. Because Van Pelt went and reenacted the scene from the Terminator where he got a new gun. Only he didn't ask for Uzi 9mm. Yeah. Carl shows up, arrests him. So that during this, he tries to roll the dice, like every kid that cheats. Roll the dice so it lands perfectly so he can win. The game calls him out on it and turns him into a monkey. And people have pointed out, is it because his piece is a monkey? So if Alan had tried to do that, would he turn into an elephant? Right? If Sarah Hueto had tried to do that, would she turn into a rhino? I don't know what Judy says. A lion? Would she turn to a lion? That would actually work if she's a liar. Actually, that would have made more sense. She should have been the one that turned. Because she turned to a lion because she'd be lying. Right? Anyway, that didn't work. So they end up... So now it's Judy's turn. No, it's Sarah's turn. I'm just using this as... Play! And it's here in the car that we get a confirmation. So, well, hold on, before I go further. Putting it down so it looks like that you got the role you wanted. Cheating. How far does that go with the game? Well, if you had a dice and you didn't want to roll, you just set them down. Would the game then call you out and say, you get that, that's cheating. You're trying to cheat the numbers. Not just putting them down. So are you stuck having to play and you can't put them down? I don't know. Just put the dice in your pocket. But then there's a hole in your pocket and that's a roll. Right? Okay, we're still on him. Can you just... It keeps cutting back to him. Okay, so they end up at the discount store. How do they end up there? They go to the city. This is where they see all the damage showing up. They got the game. Because I guess they're going to need Alan, but did she roll yet? Because she's turned into a monkey. No, I'm going to go before that. Yeah, it's in the car that Alan confesses. He apologizes for the shoe thing. He's like, it's me, Alan. He's like, what? I guess Carl believes him. It's like, it's been a while. I can explain later, but I need to go. And that's when he hears that there's something going on at a discount store. So... my question is, how did they get... Just watch this movie this morning. How do I... Okay, we're not getting where I want to go. I go back further. Right here. Yeah, that would be cheating. Don't cut back to him. He turns into the monkey. And then that's it? We just cut to the town? So they just decide not to continue playing there. Sure. Because I don't think they do Sarah's turn to get back to the house. So they go to the... Eventually Van Pelt... Oh yeah, because Peter has the game. And Van Pelt tries to get the game because that Alan will be after it. But Peter steals it back. And then he hides in this car, which gets stamped over. Then inexplicably, Van Pelt, who was like very, very far back and would not have seen where Peter went, somehow knows he's in this smushed car and steals the game. And ends up at this discount store. Alan, hearing the commotion about the discount store, gets in the car with Carl still attached to it because he handcuffed him to the door or to the steering wheel. So they're driving there. And I'm going to point out, so Nostalgia Critic, Doug, said that there was no standouts in this movie. This is absolutely wrong. There's one standout, and that's David David Allen Greer. The way he screams, the way he said, he is the standout in this movie. Just saying. So they get this place, and there's no brakes. The brakes are out. And he goes right, that bridge is out, not brake is out, whatever. There's no brakes. It has no brakes. No brakes. Psh, barrels right through, toppling a wall of paint all over Van Pelt. He gets the others. They do take a vehicle actually back to the house. When they get there, they stole this car, by the way. They get there. It's Sarah's turn, and she rolls. And we get a monsoon in your lagoon. And I've always quoted this line. She's like, "Oh, a little rain never hurt nobody." He's like, "Yeah, but a lot can kill you." And not only does it bring a monsoon, but a crocodile. Yeah, and Alan wrestles the crocodile in the water to save the other three. At this point, Carl has run into Aunt Judy, and Carl's car is now, it has been, each time we see it, closer and closer to being destroyed. And now finally fine. And like I said, David Allen Greer is the stand of it, because she's like, "Can you give me first of all, he pulls up, and she's like, she looks at me, she doesn't say anything. She's like, "Can you give me a ride home?" He's like, "Where is it?" She's like, "Oh, it's the old parish place." She's like, "Do you have 2 children, a boy and a girl? Get in, I'll tell you all that." She's like, "Ah." He's like, and I love his scream, yeah, almost like E.T. Just his scream, man. When the tentacle grabs his car, just, and that's the end of Carl's car. Somehow on foot they make it there just in time for Carl to start. I've always wanted to do this. That smashed in the door, but like it burst open and the monsoon lagoon just goes through. And I do like how they're going through. She's like, and you just see they're on like the doors. Somehow they survived the doors hitting them both. They'd be both dead, but like they survived. And then the crocodile, she sees it, like, "Ah!" And he's like, "Ah!" And that's the last we see of them in this reality. We'll get to why. They then go up to the top of the house, the top floor of the house, and continue to play. It is now Alan's turn, and he gets stuck in a quicksand. But then it's Judy's turn, and she rolls where like everything stops. You got to go back a turn, and I'm like, okay, it says to go back a turn, so that means there'll be another monsoon, right? Shouldn't just repeat what happened last time, or we just don't? I don't know, but now he's stuck. They're both stuck in the floor. And I like how I love this line too. "Sarah and I would like to get out of the floor." So then, Peter rolls, and we get spiders, an evil legion of spiders. Yeah. That attack, and everything just starts to go south with this. The practical spiders are good. When the CGI is kind of janky when you get to it, but the practical spiders look good. During this, though, a poisonous barb goes up, hits Judy, so she's kind of out. So then it's Alan's turn. He rolls, and we get earthquake. Oh, we're not done yet, because we got another great moment in this movie where he tells Peter, he's like, "Peter, my father kept an axe in the woodshed. Go." He goes to the woodshed. He's trying to open it. It's locked, so he takes this axe and starts to hit it. And then all of a sudden he stops. He looks at the camera. He's like, realizes he's got the axe. And just this is as Aunt Nora has somehow found his way. They can walk fast. It's like they walk fast to get to the house, to stomp it, to get. Then they're flung. I'm assuming that monsoon took them. The flood took them everywhere. She's able to somehow make it back to the house in record time, where she sees Peter as a monkey and freaks out. He just throws her in the closet. So that's the end of her for this reality. I forgot about that part. So he goes up, he's got the axe, and misses every spider with it because they're expensive. You can't hurt them. Right? This is where she gets hit with the poisonous barb. And it's not his turn, it's Sarah's turn. So Sarah rolls, and it's an earthquake, which causes him to fall. Like she has a hold of him, but the game falls, so he elects to fall, and then he becomes Tarzan and swings, and now he's gonna finish this. She's got to roll the dice. Stop right there, son of Jim. Shit. Van Pelt. Remember, every drop of the dice means it's a roll. You drop what you have in your hand. It's the dice. But For no reason whatsoever, one of the dice has fallen and keeps going. Because we got 10 minutes of this movie left. 10 to 15 minutes of this movie left. Like, we don't know we're almost at the end. Come on. I always hated this. Like, why does it have to fall? Why can't it just go and there? Like, why do we need tension here? Why? He's going to shoot her. Sarah jumps in front of it, but no, he rolled the right number. Now, do you have to roll the exact number, or is it just enough to get there? Because it's enough. Do you have any last words? He's like, no. I've been, oh yeah, go ahead and run. No. I've run my entire life. Now I'm going to stay here. I'm going to fight like a man. Good lad. Finally learn how to act like a man. Parallels his father, you know. He goes to shoot him, she jumps in the way, and everything just starts to go. We don't see Peter or Judy again, by the way, in this reality. I say that because once it comes back, Alan and Sarah Whittle are now kids again. They're 13 years old again. In fact, it's right after they started playing the game. The dad comes home because he forgot his speech. And Ellen apologizes. They apologize to each other. They have a talk. And I like how this is totally not how it would go in real life. He sees that Sarah is there. It's like, oh, I better get going. And you have your own business. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. You'd be like, you have someone else in the house when we are not home? Especially in the 60s. It's like, there's no way he'd get off with having someone in the house when he's not there. I know he's 13, but it's like, we left you alone. Not only is it someone else in the house when they're not there, it's a girl in the house. And he's a 13-year-old boy with hormones. Think about it. Do you remember what you were like when you were a 13-year-old boy? I do. That's when puberty starts to hit you and you feel it. And you girls. Yes. I'm sorry, but if one of my parents came home and saw me alone in my big ass house with a girl, grounded. He's already grounded, but grounded. Right? Yeah, that's another thing. He was grounded. Wasn't he? He was grounded? No, Judy was grounded. Never mind. But yeah, then after the dad leaves, because this was the end of his little story, he's like, oh, holy smoke, Julie and Peter. Like, no, it's 1969. Because he does say, back in earlier today at the factory, it wasn't Carl's fault. The shoe on the conveyor belt. I put the shoe on the conveyor belt. And, you don't have to go to your thing. Well, he doesn't have to go to boarding school anymore. And, so, okay, well, we'll get there. So he walks her home, and they throw the game, they sink it into the river. Sink it to the river, at dawn. And, it's nighttime already. And before we go back to feeling too much like a kid, they have a smooch. And then we just flash to the future, which I said in my original review has to be Christmas of 1994 due to what is about to happen. Okay? Before we get there, I need to point out the fact that these two had to live as 13-year-olds, as 30, almost 40-year-olds in 13-year-old bodies. They had adult minds, especially Sarah Whittle. Adult minds inside kids' bodies. For 26 years, they had to grow up with certain knowledges. They took advantage of that. A pair of shoes is still going. Carl's still working there. And she's pregnant. So, yeah. And they've actually hired Judy and Peter's parents And how I know that, well, one, they're still alive, but the dad talks about how they're going to go on a skiing trip, to which like, no! We need you to start work right away. And they give Judy and Peter, I like how they come off very creepy here. They're like, oh, there they are. Oh, yeah, how did you know? And they make an excuse like, oh, they're just how we envisioned they would look like from what you told us. And it's like, how about, I have a better one for you. How about, they're the only kids at this party. It's an employee party, you think. Whatever. So they give them gifts, which in the deleted scene were revealed to be Jumanji tennis shoes. Yeah, I don't. I do like how they kind of stand there to think, so they can try to figure out if they recognize them. Their memories were erased though, because I don't know why. It'd be weird if you were born and all of a sudden you just knew about another reality. I've always wanted a sequel. Like, set in 1997 or something, 2 years later. Where it's like, the parents, they babysit with their 2-year-old or something. And like, one of, either Peter or Judy is like, I have, maybe Judy could be a babysitter or something. And then she's like, I have these weird dreams. We're playing some weird board game. You guys are there. The weird thing is, I was having them before I even met you guys. And Peter, like, I had him too. I don't know. Be good on that. But the sequel did not happen until 2018, was it? 2017? One of the things, I don't know, one of those. But yeah, and they're all happy. I do like it. Hey, our house is your house. What's your house? Is anytime you want it. Well, it wasn't technically their house. It was Aunt Nora's house. And Aunt Nora, who knows what happened to her? Apparently, she exists still in this continuity because she shows up in Jumanji The Next Level. She has a cafe. So, apparently she's going to be in this new one, too, I think, from what I read. There's that. You know what? I want more continuity. I want Carl, and I want Bonnie Hunt. Can't Robin Williams, but you could have them. And if you're thinking, are they in the same continuity? Well, at Judy showing up in the other sequels is proof. In The Next Level proves that they are. Also, in the jungle, they find a hut that was, or a hammock and stuff that says property of Alan Parrish. So, yeah, it's in the same continuity. But we're not done yet. Because we have the ending of this, where this people in France find the board game. Now, people have pointed out that there's now a continuity error with this. However, I want to point out that they do not tell you when this particular thing takes place. Now, there is a continuity error now. You can say, oh, this is 1994. So, if this is 1994 and they find the board game, these French will play the board game, they can play it, have their own little adventure, the time reverses, and they send it, goes back to 1994, and then they send it, and this is where the kid's dad from the next one finds it and gives it to his kid, but then he ends up in the video game version. Alright? And as far as ending up on the beach both times, try to dispose of it in water. I'm going to try that. I like to know exactly what powers the game. We know there's no technology in the actual game because it gets wet and nothing, right? Jumanji goes to the moon. Do I have anything else to say? It goes to the moon. Period. I'm not going to get up and go get the game. I'm tired. I'm taking a nap soon. But yeah, it goes to the moon. It has to. It's one of the best movies based on a book, even though it takes liberties. Of course it does. It's one of Robin Williams' best movies. And best performances, I think. It's a great film. Good enough to 20 or so years later to get a sequel. 22 years later? It was 2018. I don't know. But what are your thoughts on Jumanji? Excuse me. Let me comment, so much, like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm this guy, and I'll see you in the next one.